Hey everyone, this is Brandon with the Variety Sports Podcast. You are listening to the 7th Inning Stretch. Now to your hosts, Logan Stone and Josh Edwards.
Hey everybody, this is Brandon with the Variety Sports Podcast station. I'm here today to talk to you a little about Anchor and what they can do and how you can even start your own podcast yourself using the app or the website. It's super easy. I mean, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it really is the easiest way to make a podcast. You download the app to your phone, boom, it's right there, ready to go. You hit record, you can add different things. So, like I said, the best thing about it, it's free. It doesn't cost you a single dime to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You can actually make money off of it by doing little ads like this. And it'll also distribute your podcast so it can be heard through Spotify, through Apple, through Google Podcasts, wherever podcasts can be listened to. You'll see it, you'll hear it, you'll listen to it. It'll be fantastic for you and for everybody who listens to your podcast. So take it from me, from Brandon at The Variety. Anchor is the way to go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the 7th Inning Stretch. I'm your host, Logan Stone, and I'm practicing my ASMR. I'm with my co-host, Josh Edwards. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm very good, man. How are you?
I'm very soothing today because we are all about Zen. We are the not the mediocre, the Zen Variety Sports Podcast. Okay, that's enough. I'm pissing myself off. Okay.
That was bad, bro.
It was bad. But
my stretch wasn't any better.
It's fine. It's totally fine. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're great. We're wonderful. Yeah. You doing okay?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It was a good weekend.
Yeah, we don't do news today because it's Monday, but guess what we do have? We have power rankings. We're gonna react to Miguel Cabrera. Apparently, one of us has a hot take, and guess what? Spoiler alert, it's not me. I'm not the asshole today. It's gonna be Josh. Apparently, he said he was gonna be the asshole. Let's see. And then also we have Trouble in the Bronx. That's not a story I came up with. I just wanted to say that because I want to sound official.
You're getting there.
I will get it. I will get it. I will be officially official in the officialness of my officialness.
Breaking news, just got word from our CEO.
Yeah.
He will not be able to join us. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon will not be with us tonight.
What a selfish a-hole. Well, we do actually have a draft, though. And it's going to be a 2-person draft. So, cool. More for me. It's not really a competitive draft. We just need an excuse to talk about players that we like. Yeah. So, the draft is going to be, what is it? Underappreciated, undervalued, and underrated players. I hope you have the one guy I did not add to my list because I intentionally left him off my list so that way he would be on your list. If that made any sense at all.
It made sense. I just have no idea who you're referencing, so this is going to get interesting.
Oh, gosh. A certain Phillies player that we talked about. No? Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. I'm going to have to rework some things around. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I don't even know. I am running on fumes right now, so if I start rambling, just tell me to shut up, Logan, and drink some coffee.
You got it.
Okay, so let's see. On Friday's episode, we were like, "Oh, Miguel's going to take another week to get his 3,000th hit," and he got it the next day because we predicted that it would be next week, and that's how baseball works. You say one thing, and another thing happens. So yeah, he got his 3,000th hit. It's a bloop single to center field, if I remember correctly. But Yeah, I wanted to give a little bit of a tribute to Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera has been in the league for, I mean, he's one of the oldest players in the league, I think. Hold on, let me.
Feels like he's been there forever, man. I mean,
Yeah,
through my entire 20s, maybe my late teens.
won the
I guess.
won the 2003 World Series with the um, Marlins.
Oh Jesus, he was on that team.
Oh yeah, he was.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's older than I thought.
Yeah, people forget how old he is, and that he hasn't always been with the Tigers. Yeah, he was with the 2003 team as a rookie. Placed fifth in the Rookie of the Year voting. I don't know who he's behind, but I don't care. I'm sure none of those people amounted to anything. I'm just kidding. And he's been really. I mean, he's been one of the best hitters. I mean, I remember as a kid, it was you were either talking about Albert Pujols or you were talking about Miguel Cabrera as the best right-handed hitter in baseball. Do you have any thoughts on his 3,000th hit before I go on any further?
All right, so here's my hot take.
Okay.
It may not be that hot, but
we may be canceled by tomorrow morning.
So if I recall correctly, his first major league hit was a home run. His 1,000th career hit was a home run. His 2,000th career hit was a home run. So I honestly was expecting number 3,000 to be a home run. So I was super disappointed with his little line drive ground ball into the outfield for his 3,000th hit. That's my hot take. I thought it was junk. It was trashy. They should have given him something that he could jack out the park. That's my personal opinion. Now, I think the problem with it is I think he got it in his first at bat in the first game of the doubleheader. So they couldn't just give him something to smoke. So that's my two-sided take on it. I wanted the home run. I wanted it to be immaculately glorious, and that ball mean that much more. But that's my hot take. I was a little disappointed with how it went down.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, he doesn't have that power anymore. I mean, he gets a hold of one, but he's not a power hitter anymore. He's barely hanging on right now. I mean, I'm glad he got his 3,000th hit, but yeah, I mean, he's been getting on base a lot lately, but yeah, I mean, this year he's actually done pretty well. Actually hasn't gotten a home run this entire year yet. So, anyways,
that would have made it even better. His first home run this season. That would have been even more disappointment now.
But let's talk about Miguel Cabrera, two-time MVP. He got those back-to-back in 2012 and 2013. We'll understand why in a second. 11-time All-Star, 7-time Silver Slugger, 2-time Player of the Year, Triple Crown winner, which is probably his most, probably his biggest thing, and 4-time batting champion. He currently has a 310. His career, he has a 310 batting average, a career 387 on base percentage, 532 slugging, a 919 OPS, and a 144 OPS plus. I mean, that's just ridiculous. How good of a play. Yeah, and he's. I mean, if you don't even count the last couple of years, so like 2003 to 2017, he's got a 317 career batting average, 395 on base, 553 slugging, and 948 OPS, and a 151 OPS plus. I mean, that's a big difference. Sorry about the dog in the background. She's very excited. Like I said, he won the Triple Crown in 2013. If that's right. Yes, he did win it in 2013. He almost won it in 2012. He was only, what was he lacking? Oh, he won it in 2012 and almost won it in 2013. Man, he was a beast with 44 home runs in 2012 and 139 RBIs, a 330 batting average, a 606 slugging, in 2009, 999 OPS and a 164 OPS plus. 2013, 348 batting average, 442 on base, 635, 6 slugging. I mean, these are the prime years. I mean, in between 2010 and 2016, he was just on another level. Like, he left Albert Pujols in the dust, who was Albert Pujols was having problems, but I mean, Miguel Cabrera was just unreal between 2010 and 16. Yeah, what do you think of him?
Dare I say first ballot Hall of Famer?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm looking at his baseball reference, and he's been in the MVP conversation, top 30 from 2003, his rookie year, to 2016. Top 10 in 2016. Won it twice. Almost won it in 2010. Almost won it again in 2009. Top 5 in 2005 and 6. I mean, he's like, you look at his baseball reference, and it's pretty good. It's an amazing thing, and we kind of look down at him now, the last couple of years, because he's gotten older. I mean, he's 39 right now, but back then he was unstoppable.
The fact that he can remain in the league and teams still want to pay him says all there is to say about the guy. But we all know the truth, with the exception of one player in all sports, or maybe a couple players in all sports. Father Time never loses.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to have that tail off at the end of their careers. I give the guy all the credit in the world, all the respect in the world. Congratulations to Mickey. Huge accomplishment.
Yeah. And one last thing I want to say, this is a very interesting stat I saw. Only one person in MLB history has gotten 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, and a triple crown, and his name is Miguel Cabrera. That's pretty astonishing.
I didn't know he was the only one to get that.
Yeah. 502 home runs and 1,800 RBIs. That's yeah. And he's at 3,002 hits now. So he's getting pretty hot right now. Anything else you need to say about Miguel Cabrera?
Nope.
I think I have just one good thing about him that I wanted to say. That was I just remember whenever he struck out against a pitcher. I can't remember his name, but it was like this nasty sinker. And he looks down at the dirt as he swung, and then he looks up at the pitcher and thumbs up and smiles and walks away, because he just realized how he had gotten beat by just showing the respect to the other pitcher and just making a kind of a joke, like, you got me this time, but I'll get you next time. I like that. I like that a lot.
He's classy, man. He's a classy player. Classy guy.
Yeah. Great player. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. Okay, so we have I think this is the first time we are officially doing our baseball power rankings. Am I correct? Yes. We're talking about it, at least. Josh, why don't you go ahead and do your list?
Oh, my list. Controversial, I'm sure.
Mm.
Could you want to do Brandon's first, since he's not with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so Brandon, our CEO, the chief, the big guy, he went with number 1, the LA Dodgers, number 2, the New York Mets, number 3, the San Francisco Giants, number 4, the St. Louis Cardinals, number 5, the San Diego Padres. At 6 was the Toronto Blue Jays, 7, the Colorado Rockies, 8, the Seattle Mariners, 9, the New York Yankees, and 10th, he brought in the Los Angeles Angels. He had 2 honorable mentions this week, and that was the Cleveland Guardians and the Tampa Bay Rays. So I thought it was funny, because if you look at our top 4, well, no, I can't even say that this week. I'm wrong, so I'm going to withdraw that statement.
Basically the same, except you have the Blue Jays over the Cardinals for some reason.
Yeah. Well, our top 2, we were the same across the board. So then I took the Dodgers and the Mets at 1 and 2. I took the Jays at number 3. I took the Giants at 4. I put the Cardinals at 5. I put the Mariners at 6, the Rockies at 7, the Padres at 8. I threw the Yankees in there at 9. And if I could change it at this point, I would, just because they had a rough weekend. But I put the Guardians at 10 just because it's a power rankings and the run differential was fantastic when we set this stuff up. I had 2 honorable mentions as well. I had the Rays as an honorable mention, and then I had the Brewers as an honorable mention.
Yeah. You want to break down your list real quick and tell us why, like, something that you like? For me, I am surprised that you have the Blue Jays as high. I had the Blue Jays at the 5 spot. Brandon had his at 6, and you had yours the Blue Jays at 3. Yeah, do you care to elaborate on that one?
They're a lot of fun to watch right now. So I think because I've been catching so many of their games on MLB, I'm probably just getting a little bit of hypnotized with getting to see the offense play. They run well, they hit well. They're fun to watch teams, so I might just be a little high on them. But I don't know how much you've got to watch of them. I've got to watch probably 5 or 6 games at this point, or at least pieces of games.
Yeah.
They look good. They look competitive. I still wholeheartedly believe they're the best team in the AL East. And I still believe that they are going to be, as long as they don't fall apart for some reason, they're going to be there in the playoffs, and at least in the AL pennant game, if not representing the AL in the World Series.
Oh, yeah, you have them at the World Series. Yeah. Tampa Bay and Milwaukee are your honorable mentions.
Yeah.
What do you did you have like an extra reasoning for those, or you just need to?
Milwaukee looks like they're getting back to where they should be for the most part. I think that team's going to come together. I think they have some unspoken heroes on that team. And then the Rays are the Rays. They're stupid exciting. They have a low payroll. I just give a lot of respect to that team. So, I mean, the Rays are the Rays. They got Randy Arozarena, man. And they got Franco, what's his name? I just talked about it on the last episode.
Zunino?
No, Wanda.
Wander Franco.
Yeah, Wander Franco. Sorry, I flipped the names with the letters.
Yeah.
They're again a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun watching some of these teams that I don't normally watch, and I'm enjoying the game. I really am.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I could take it back now and switch it up, I'd probably pull the Guardians out, put the Rays in at 10.
I mean, hey, it's your list. The people listening to us aren't going to think of anything official here. I mean,
but it's posted, so I want to stick to what I put out there originally.
Yeah.
But if I had a do-over, that would be my do-over. I'd switch the Guardians and the Rays out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And by the way, these power rankings will be posted on all the social media pages, so make sure you like and follow the Variety Sports Podcast Network on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that place, or all those
comment
places.
And tell us what you think about our picks, and if you think we got something wrong, drop us a line and let us know why we got it wrong.
Yeah, make fun of Brandon's list because he's not here to defend it, and we're sensitive. I'm going to go ahead and go with mine. I have the number 1 Los Angeles Dodgers. No surprise there. New York Mets. No surprise there. Giants. Yeah, they're playing really good. Cardinals at number 4. Toronto Blue Jays at number 5. I have the Guardians at 6. They played some really good baseball, and they've just interested me. Seemed like they were giving up, and then they signed Jose Ramirez to a 5-year contract or extension, and now they're just winning for some reason. Seattle Mariners at number 7, San Diego Padres at 8, 9, Chicago Cubs. Don't hate me, Cardinal fans. I'm sorry. They're good. They're good. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to. They're a good team. And number 10, the New York Yankees.
No, I want you to defend your Cubs pick. Man, I do. I want to hear your defense of that. They had one really, really good game that boosted their.
Yeah, that is true.
So I want to hear you defend the rest of it.
Let's see, because I totally forgot the reason. So give me 1 second.
I should give you a heads up. I was going to call you out about that.
Oh no, it's totally fine. Man, they've definitely changed since yesterday. Like Milwaukee, Chicago was in second place, and then Milwaukee and Pittsburgh jumped them. Yeah, they were at plus 20 yesterday, I believe, in a run differential. And
well, that helps when you beat a team 21-0.
Yeah, that is true. Well, this was before the game, I think. So, in my defense, okay. Right? Yeah, I think so.
I think you're right.
And they had a winning record. I like them a lot. I don't know. I don't know. They just wowed me this week, and I can't even remember why. I'm sorry, I'm blanking. It's also because I hate the Cardinals, apparently. Even though I say I'm a Cardinals fan, I hate the Cardinals.
With Cardinals. The crap you gave me about putting the Cardinals with you and Brandon, I was like, geez, guys.
Yeah. It was, the Cubs. I was like, oh, good. I'm the only one who picked the Cubs, and I'm on a podcast with Cardinal fans. I'm not going to be popular in the Cardinals network for a while. Do you have any other questions about the rankings or?
No, I thought yours were solid. I thought everybody was solid. We all had a little bit different take. I think we're obviously on the same track, at least with the top 5. We're all basically there at the top 6. Like I said, I had the hardest time going 7 through 10.
Yeah.
Just figuring out who I wanted to go where. Thank God we get to change this week in and week out as the season goes. So it's not like I'm married to any of these decisions coming into the season.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the good fun list that we just did. We just talked about Miguel Cabrera. Now let's just go on to this topic for 5 seconds and then we're over it. Okay. Yesterday at the Yankees game, the Yankees fans started throwing crap at the Guardians outfielders. I think it started off when they made fun of Stephen Kwan for getting injured, and they were saying good or thank God you're injured or something. I don't know what they said exactly, but anyways, and Yankees want to walk off and they start yelling at they start chirping and yelling and throwing stuff at I think it was Mercado, if I remember correctly, and it started a whole thing. Yankees fans were pissed off. Everyone was pissed off at Yankee fans. Yankee fans were I saw a whole bunch of Yankee fans defending themselves, and some of them were stupid. One of them I saw was saying that the Cleveland fans don't have any room to talk about classless fan bases because they had that Browns and Jaguars game a couple years ago. I'm like, okay, that's just stupid. Look, the Yankee fans who did it are stupid. Yes, Miles Straw, I think, is the center fielder. He said that the Yankee fan base is the worst fan base. They're classless. They're assholes. Look, it's not an isolated incident. We have multiple stories of the Yankees fans being aggressive, hostile, assholes. They're passionate, and sometimes their passion gets the better of them in a very negative way, and that's not good. Don't defend it, please. Just move on. Just say, look, that was the minority. The vast majority respects every player, doesn't think that we should throw shit, and it doesn't matter what happened before. It's over. I mean, it's whatever. Do you have any thoughts on it before?
Man, I expect so much more out of the baseball community, especially when a player gets hurt. We never want to see a player get hurt, especially when they're going to make a play. Especially when it's a non-contact play with another player. Like I can understand, and this will kind of go back to our, catcher having the ball blocking the plate from a base runner. Somebody gets hurt. There's a little bit of aggravation there. Tempers get heated. Okay, I can see that. That's a different scenario. But making a play on a ball in the outfield, and then you guys want to give him crap because he got hurt, that's just a whole nother level of low, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm super disappointed in the Yankees fans that did that. And then later in the game, the Yankees fans throwing beer cans or bottles or whatever they were throwing at the players on Cleveland's team. I just, it makes the game look bad. It makes Yankees fans look bad. It was disappointing to see. I hope it doesn't happen again.
Probably will.
And I'm sure it will eventually. But like this, it was uncalled for, unreasonable, and nobody can defend that. And if you defend it, you're just as bad as the people who did it, in my opinion.
And let's not forget, earlier this week, a Padres fan threw a beer can at Cody Bellinger. Swept under the rug because of the whole Yankees thing being bigger than that. It's not good. And if you're not careful, we're going to start seeing nets in the outfield, and that's not fun. But
no, that'll take away from the game so badly because that's the only place where you have access to the players anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I love seeing those ball players who play catch with some of those younger fans.
Oh, it's fantastic! It's one of the best parts of the game.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, and luckily with the miracles of technology, I mean, 21st century, I don't understand why this is not baseball right now, but I don't understand why people commit crimes and do shit like this whenever there are so many cameras everywhere. It makes zero to no sense to me. It's like, how stupid can you be? But
I would venture to say there was a lot of alcohol consumption before they made those decisions.
Yeah,
I'm not excusing what they did.
No,
if you're going to drink and you're going to make bad decisions, you pay the price.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no. That's no. Yeah, that's all I have to really say about that. I'm not really angry about it. It happened. It's bad. I don't think I can add anything that every ESPN MLB analyst hasn't already said a billion times. It's becoming more annoying than Will Smith, and I'm over it.
More annoying than Will Smith.
Yeah. Okay, so are we so we're going to do our draft. I'm going to let you go first or second if you want. I'm not going to. This isn't really a competitive draft like the last draft we had was. This draft, we are just really the focus of this draft is just to pay attention to players who are we think are undervalued, underappreciated, underrated. We're going to do infield, outfield, a pitcher, and just an extra player because there's not a lot of DHs. So do you want to pick first or do you want to pick second?
I can go first this time.
Okay. Asshole.
Yeah, I know, right? So you want to go position for position on this too?
You do however you want it. I mean, yeah, we can do catchers actually.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we can do that.
Just to stay in order so we don't forget where we're at.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of research on this, and object if you want, but Christian Vasquez from the Red Sox.
Okay. As your catcher, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good what is it? Defender, right?
Yeah, and his offensive numbers aren't horrible. Like he's not in my opinion, he's not a top 10 guy.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to put him out here because he seems like he's fairly all around he's a well-rounded, above-average player. And I'll be honest with you, until I did some research, I didn't even know who the guy was.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, this guy looks like he'll work.
Yeah, the Red Sox seem to really like him. I haven't seen him a lot, honestly. But yeah, I've always heard good not Yankee fans, Red Sox fans love him. Okay, so it's my turn, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go with Yasmani Grandal, and there's a couple of these guys. I actually had 4 players I was looking at, but Grandal has been a great player. He might be the most underrated player in the entire MLB. His entire career, he has had a 355 on base, 451 slugging, 807 OPS, and a 119 OPS plus. That's it throughout his entire career. With numbers like that with numbers like these over a 10-year long career, you would say, Logan, you're an idiot. He isn't underrated. He isn't underappreciated. Well, you would be wrong. Fans don't like him because he has a career batting average of 240. 240. After all the other stats I've listed, 240 is the batting average. It's a low batting average for stats like that. Which, I mean, it just goes to show you how stupid the batting average stat is, and I will fight tooth and nail to destroy it. Because I just don't like it. Do you have any thoughts on not Christian Vasquez, Yasmani Grandal?
I like Yasmani Grandal, so I'm not going to object to that on you because I don't think he gets enough credit. So yeah. I think he would go in our underrated, undervalued. I think he's a really good player. Most people that know baseball, I think, know he's a pretty good player. And when you're a catcher, and let's get this part out of the way. When you're a catcher, you're paid for your defense and your ability to control the field. You're not necessarily paid, with a few exceptions, of course, to hit the ball a mile and have a great average. Now, you did bring up something I want to talk about at the end of this episode now, which is batting average. So we'll come back to
because
that.
You like it or because you hate it?
I would just love to have a quick conversation about batting average.
Okay, yeah. Okay, just remind me because I'm going to forget, and I don't want to forget.
I'm going to say batting average.
Okay. I'll put it at the bottom. Okay, so your first baseman.
This one I think you might object to. Okay. I'm going to go with CJ Cron. Or Crone, however you say his name.
My gosh, I'm so happy you picked him.
Really?
Because he was my top 3 guys.
Okay.
I was gonna pick him if no one did.
I mean, when we could say it's the Coors effect, which we've talked about with other players. I think he flies under the radar. I think he's leading right now the league in home runs, or he's up there in home runs.
I think he's at 6, right?
I think that's what he was last time I checked.
Yeah, 6 home runs and 16 RBIs.
Yeah, I mean he's hitting the ball really, really well. I don't know much about the guy. This for me. This draft we're doing was all about me trying to learn players I don't typically follow. Mm-hmm. I think you probably took a little bit of a different spin on it than I did, but I wanted to expand my horizon. So I started looking for guys I didn't know. This guy popped up, did a little bit of looking on him, and he was the one I was like, I'll take him.
Yeah. So I pulled up his baseball reference page. The baseball reference, side note, best website ever. I love it. It's I like to go and look up random players and just look at their stats, and it's beautiful. So he started off with the LA Angels, then went to Tampa Bay for a year, and then Minnesota, Detroit, and then he spent the last 2 years with Colorado. So he's not just a Colorado effect kid. I mean, he had an 894 OPS in 2020 with Detroit. Hasn't had a OPS under 739 ever. And that's pretty good from a player, even like in his rookie year. That's pretty good. I love this pick for you. Because I have a Goldschmidt and another player that I wanted to pick, and CJ Cron was on that list too, a first baseman. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Whoop, whoop.
So my player is going to be, and there's going to be a tiny rant. Brandon Belt.
Nope, not gonna fight you on that one either because he was on my list.
The only reason he doesn't get more love is because he is a left-handed hitter in one of the least friendly ballparks. Like the right field used to be 447 feet from home plate. After the 2019 season, they moved it up to 309 feet. In 2020, he had 9 home runs, but in 2021, he had a career high 29 home runs. Whoops. But he has been great his entire career. He just hasn't had the sexy numbers like other players do. His career numbers are 358 on base percentage, 465 slugging, 823 OPS, and a 125 OPS plus. If he played for the Yankees, a team that has a short porch in right field, he would be the top 5 first baseman in the game right now, hands down. No, I almost said the best first baseman in the league, but I didn't want to say that. But I wanted to. There's a tool that I used to use, it's called if would it be a home run in any other stadium, and I couldn't find it this time, but
It's
I think
the dong thing. Would it be a
is
dong?
it the dong? Yeah. Would it be a dong? And I think I wanted to see like how many home runs he had that would have been a home run in any other ballpark except for Oracle. And the ball just dies there whenever you're it just blows into the park. It seems like it's hard to hit a home run in that park. It seems, especially for a left-handed hitter. Not anymore, but it was for the longest time. Brandon Belt. Okay, so you're second baseman.
Okay, so I got down between 2 here, and I'm gonna go with one.
Okay.
Well, obviously I'm gonna go with one, but the one I'm gonna go with is Brandon Lowe.
Really? Okay.
You don't like that one?
No. I didn't have him on my list, so I'm looking it up now.
142 OPS with 31 doubles, 39 home runs, 4.7 WAR. Led Tampa last year in all those categories. And I rarely hear the guy's name.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a couple of Rays that I just said they're underrated because they're Rays.
Yep.
Like they mix match players every year, and then they win the division every year, but yeah, Brandon Lowe is a definitely underrated guy. Yeah, go ahead and continue before I rudely interrupted you.
No, you're good, man. So apparently, I think he's one of their homegrown guys. Like they drafted and developed him. If I remember, I read about a lot of different guys. So I think he's one of the ones who was homegrown, developed. He's been a consistent. I think he was in the top 10 AL MVP voting the last couple years. He was I think he had an All-Star rookie appearance, and I don't know if that was 18 or 19.
2019.
19. And again, I don't ever hear about the dude. So
Yeah.
He just kind of jumped off the page for me. The guy I want to at least drop the second name to you.
Yeah.
Nikki Lopez from the Royals.
Nikki Lopez. I looked at him and then I didn't look at him because I had other guys I wanted to talk about. Go ahead and talk about Nikki Lopez if you want. And no, it won't be your pick if you don't want to.
No, yeah, I'm still going to stick with Lowe because his numbers are better.
Yeah.
But it sounds like this kid was he was okay. Then he struggled and didn't even make the opening day roster last year. And then Mondesi, or however you say his name, Modesty, thank you, got hurt, and he took advantage of the opportunity and had like a 300 average. So, good player, it looks like. Again, another name I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about the guy. I was just running through research and looking up guys, and he was the one that I decided he was going to be my final 2, but I wasn't going to take him. because I like Lowe better.
365 on base percentage. That's pretty good. And Brandon Lowe, he was drafted in the third round by the Rays in 2015. Yeah, from the University of Maryland. It's a lot of information about a guy I like, but don't care too much. But yeah, I'm surprised I forgot about him because I loved him in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Okay, so my second baseman. You might veto this one, and that'll be fine. But I at least want to get this argument out there. Max Muncie.
Oh. All right, let me hear your explanation. I'll decide if I'm going to veto.
A 371 on base percentage, 520 slugging, 890 OPS, and a 136 OPS plus. He's kind of like Yasmani Grandal in the fact that he is so dominant in stats and always gets on base. I feel like in a team of superstars, and even though he is a superstar, I'm not taking anything away from that. I think he kind of gets, behind Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Will Smith, some of Clayton Kershaw, some of those other bigger name guys, and he kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But I think a lot of people, not a lot of people, I think some fans don't understand how good of a player he is. And you can totally veto this, but that's basically my argument.
What's his contract look like? This will be you make a good argument, so it depends on what he's making paid. He has a $13 million a year salary, dude.
Really?
I wouldn't say he's undervalued.
Oh man. Okay, what if I told you he was in the top 2 in MVP last year? Top 3?
I mean, that's $13 million a year is a pretty good pay. I mean, I'll let you have it, but I mean, $13 million. That's a pretty good payday.
Yeah. I'll switch to another guy. You know what? I'm gonna go with Jorge Polanco. I was stuck between him and Joey Wendell. A 333 on base percentage, 451 slugging, 783 OPS, and a 110 OPS plus throughout his career. He was kind of popular when the Twins were good, and then fell off the face of the planet. It seemed like whenever they went bad, but he hasn't had a bad season since 2020, which I mean everyone had a bad 2020. Yeah. So I kind of take exception to that one. But Jorge Polanco, I think, is a really good player. I like him.
I give you that one. 100 all day long. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
I know I got a veto coming my way now.
Oh no, I will be fair. I knew that Max Muncy was going to be a hard sell, so I wasn't too worried about it. Okay. Your third baseman.
Third baseman.
Say Nolan Arenado. I'm vetoing that thing.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go that route. Third base. Hold on. Let me get to my.
Okay.
I had a couple guys down here for third base, and I can't remember exactly who they were. So let me get back. All right, this is a guy who you may know him. We might have talked about him in the preseason preview. I don't remember, and I can't say the guy's name to save my life, but I'm going to try. So apologies to him if he, for some odd reason, would hear this podcast. Jaime Candelario?
Candelario?
Candelario, yeah.
I don't remember it from the Tigers. Candelario. Okay. Tell me why. I'm looking at his stats right now.
What was it that I read about him? There was something I read about him that stood out to me. Let me see if I can find it. Because I think I saw him in 2 of my different research patterns. I saw it. He had a bad 19. A real bad 19. Oh, this is why I picked up on him. because he came back and he hit like a 137 OPS plus with a 2.0 WAR in 52 games. His next season back, and then I think last year he had like 122 OPS again, hit 271, 16 homers, 67 RBIs, and he had a ton of doubles. I think he was up there in the 40s.
Led the league in doubles, 42.
There you go, yeah. So that's why. He was a comeback guy for me. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He had real bad season a couple years ago, and he just kind of rebuilt himself. I think you'd like that one since you're high on Detroit.
Yeah, I do like that. I like that a lot. Is he? I don't know where is he playing still? 14 games. He's had 53 at bats. Nice. Okay, so he is starting. I didn't know if Spencer Torkelson took his place, but I think Torkelson took first. And okay, yeah. Candelario. I like that. I can't say his first name to save my life, but
I think it's Jaime, but I don't know his nationality. If he's Hispanic or Latin American, J's are typically an H sound.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So I'm assuming he's Latin American.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, I apologize if I offended anybody.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sorry because I don't know. So it's not out of malice, it's out of ignorance.
Yeah, you asshole. You're so insensitive. Okay, let's see. My third baseman. Oh man, this might be another veto, but I need to get this one.
All right.
Okay. Manny Machado. Okay. 340 on base percentage, 490 slugging, 830 OPS, 123 OPS plus. Obviously, I don't need to read the stats to tell you guys. No. You guys already know he's great. You might be thinking, what? Logan, you idiot. Manny Machado isn't underrated. Just listen to my argument for a second, children. Go. Listen, come gather around. I don't care if he actually gets drafted. However, I do think he is underrated, underappreciated, and undervalued. Came up with the Orioles and was great. Great defense, great offense. In 2019, he signs with the Padres and becomes the face of the franchise for about 5 seconds. Then a young guy by the name of Fernando Tatis Jr. came up and took the league by storm. Tatis did his thing for the last 3 years, and then where did Machado go? He faded to the background, and no one really thinks of him when he's one of the best third basemen in the game. You think of the best third basemen in the game. You think of Jose Ramirez, Nolan Arenado, defensively Matt Chapman, Justin Turner could be thrown in there. Yeah. But Manny Machado doesn't. I forget he's on the team sometimes. And I think he helped groom Fernando Tatis. I think he became a bigger leader. We saw when he was a younger kid, he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
And then now he's calling some guys out. He's craving to be this leader. And I think he's kind of played second fiddle for a little bit, and people kind of forget about him. Are you vetoing?
I like your argument, so I'm not going to veto it, even though he makes $32 million a year.
Yeah. Okay. But maybe not undervalued, but
because I think you made a couple of really great points there. The fact that he was a prick in his younger days, he seems to have matured, which we all want. All these pro players, especially the ones who are big name, big paycheck, role models for kids. We want to see them mature and get better over time. And I think he's done a good. Honestly, you're right. I forgot he was on the team until I started paying attention because I picked the Padres to be a decent team this year. If I did in our preseason preview, I didn't think about Machado being there. I was thinking all about Tatis. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you that one. I'm not going to veto it because I think you made a really good argument.
Oh well, thank you. My other one was Rafael Devers. So
and I would have given you that one without hesitation.
He's kind of you don't even think of him. But yeah, okay. So you're shortstop.
Shortstop. Yes, the shortstops. Let me see here. Who do I have in my shortstop category? You know what was funny?
What?
When I was doing my research for this, Nikki Lopez came up under shortstop and second baseman in multiple different websites.
Yeah.
So, because he came up at multiple positions in multiple different searches for me, I'm going to go with Nikki Lopez on this one.
Okay. And yeah, you already kind of went through why you liked him and why he's good.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I got to give it to him just because multiple sources at two different positions rated him as one of the most underrated players. So I got to go with him.
Okay. Okay. Nikki Lopez rounds out your infield. Okay. Mine is going to be a huge shocker. You're not even going to be able to you're not even going to guess who it is, who my shortstop is. It's Trey Turner.
No way, dude. No.
Okay,
Come on, man.
Okay, let me just talk about it for 5 seconds.
Okay, go ahead and defend it, but this is gonna be your hardest sell yet.
Really? Harder than Manny Machado. Okay.
Dude, you love Trey.
I do love Trey.
You've talked about him a lot.
I liked him before he was
cool. Right. I'm saying you've already got me bought into him. This is gonna be a tough sell.
359 on base percentage, 495 slugging, 853 OPS 123 OPS plus. He is my favorite shortstop. We all know this. He is fast, he plays good defense, and he has a power bat. He is so great, and people kind of took notice last season where he was in the top 10 in MVP voting, but they don't know the full picture of what is Trey Turner. He's just everywhere. I mean, you need to steal a base. He has a top speed. He has a sprint speed of 32.3. I think it's 3 feet per second.
That is fast?
Yeah, 32.3.
Jesus.
Yeah. I think he's leading the league in sprint speed.
Golly, man. I knew he was fast. I didn't think he was that fast.
Yes. He plays a good shortstop. If Trevor Story, Trevor Story is no longer in the league, so he may actually win a Gold Glove this year. Please, God. He kind of was a second. He was an afterthought in the Scherzer trade. It seemed like everyone was like, "Oh, Max Scherzer and Trey Turner," but Trey Turner is the best part of that. Oh my gosh, Trey Turner's greatness. If you need to pour some cold water on me, I'm okay with this.
I'd say you need cold water. You need a cold shower and a cigarette.
Cold shower and a cigarette. Are you beat, Tone?
Because of his versatility, I'm not going to veto you on this.
Really? You're God damn. I mean, you can veto me.
Nice.
You can veto me if you want. I just need to talk about Trey Turner sometimes.
All right, so give me what your other option was. At least give me that.
Okay, so I had 3 others. I had Tim Anderson, actually, Willie Adames, and Eugenio Suarez.
Your last 2 were on my radar.
Yeah, I kind of like Suarez because he has been one of the best power hitters, has the most home runs by a player since 2018 with 129. He had a slump last season, but he is still a good player. I hope he does really well in Seattle. Willie Adames, he was kind of a part of the Rays project and had to be traded because he couldn't see in Tropicana Field, and he's just been lights out for the Brewers ever since. That's probably been their best pickup in recent memory. Tim Anderson, I talked about him the other day. He is another one of my favorite players. He kind of gets overshadowed by Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, and he plays the game in such a fun, spunk way. I love him. I think, I don't like you think of top shortstops in the league. Xander Bogaerts, Trevor Story, not Trey Turner because no one talks about Trey Turner, unfortunately. Not enough, anyways. Francisco Lindor, Simeon, Seager. No one really looks at him. 349 on base percentage, 495 slugging, 844 OPS, and a 126 OPS plus. Yeah, I love him. I probably would have gone with Suarez, though, even though I love Tim Anderson, if you had vetoed my Trey Turner.
Okay.
So, sorry to make that long-winded right there.
Dude, you're good, bro. You're good. This stuff has to be explained because people have to understand where our mindset comes from.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you're outfielder, or if you want to do pitcher.
Are we doing just one outfielder or three?
3 outfielders.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
I just want to just do one at a time, though. Otherwise, you'll
absolutely.
steal all 3 of my guys. Something.
I think you're going to object to one of my outfielders. I think you're going to laugh at another one, and then I think my last one's going to be out of nowhere. So let's go with the one I think you're going to reject. Hunter Renfroe.
Okay. What about him? I
think he gets overlooked. I think he was a quiet pickup for the Brewers. He's a good all-around player. He had a really good year last year, and I don't think the dude gets talked about enough.
Yeah. I'm looking at his stats right now. He's got a 112 OPS from last year, an 816 OPS plus, a 112 OPS plus and an 816 OPS. That's really good. He had a down year in 2020, which, everybody did. Yeah, you know what? You are right. I haven't really looked at his stats, and then looking at it right now, you got me. You got me good. I like that.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, this is the one I thought you were going to drill me at, but cool.
No. Okay.
And he's kind of been all over. He's been a giant. This is his 4th team he's played with, I think.
Let's see. He's played for the Padres, Rays, Boston, and Milwaukee. So 4.
A little bit of a journeyman. He's only been around since 16, so that's the other reason that I feel like nobody's ever gave him the big contract, and he's had a couple down years here and there, but overall, he seems like a pretty good player to me. I'd be okay having him on my team.
Doesn't get injured. Played 122 games in 2017. 2018, he played 117. 2019, he played 140. 2020, he played 42. 2021, he played 144. He plays games. He doesn't get injured. Yeah.
Right.
He's reliable. I like it. Okay, I like it a lot. Now I just need to remember. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. I'm going to go my outfielder, Mike Trout. No, I'm just kidding.
Veto.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm going to go with Cedric Mullins. I think he needs to be talked about right now. 360 on base percentage. This is last year. 518 slugging, 878 OPS, 136 OPS plus. Came up through the Orioles organization as a switch hitter. Was horrible hitting right-handed, so he dropped it and decided to stick to batting left-handed, and it worked out for him in a big way. He got a lot of buzz at the beginning of the year in 2021. He kind of fell into the starting lineup in the All-Star game because Judge was injured and Trout was injured. And he should have been on even with Judge and Trout in the game. I think Adolis Garcia and Teoscar Hernandez were the other guys who made the All-Star lineup starting lineup. Anyways, he got a lot of buzz at the beginning of the year, like I said, in 2021. And then after the All-Star break, it seemed like he got replaced by Trey Mancini and John Means. Both good players, very good players. Trey Mancini had the great comeback year last year, got runner-up in the home run derby. John Means played a really good 2021. But Cedric Mullins, I think he's just great. I want him.
Okay. How bad do you want him?
I don't think that bad. You have any thoughts on that one?
No objections there. It's a good pickup.
Okay, cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, actually, this is the second time I've drafted him, so there you go. Okay, who's your number 2 outfielder?
Now, I'm going to take this guy. I want to preface this by going, he's one of my favorite players to watch play the game because he looks like he loves the game. He never is not smiling. He's always seems to have a positive vibe going on.
I swear, if you're saying the player I'm thinking,
I'm sure it is because we're probably on the same vibe on this one. But I'm taking Harrison Vader.
God damn it! I knew it.
I think he is totally undervalued. I mean, obviously he's a Gold Glover, so he's known for his defense. His offense came on late last year. He hasn't quite hit stride yet this year, but the dude is easily one of my favorite players in the league because he purely loves the game of baseball. He loves the game. I couldn't see this guy doing anything else with his life except for playing baseball. He is such a happy dude. And I love that about him. So I'm taking him unless you're going to veto that because he had a great back half of last year. Actually, back third or back quarter of last year. 3 more exact.
116 OPS plus, 785 OPS, 114 OPS plus in 2020, 779 OPS. Okay, fine. You can have him.
Yes.
You've opened my eye just a little bit, but that's it. That door is closed after that. I don't want to talk about Harrison Bader ever again. Definitely don't want to ever see him on Star Wars night. Never mind.
He'd be the best Chewbacca.
Oh, that
With
wasn't.
that hair.
I was thinking of a Jedi Master.
Oh, that's it.
Anyways, apparently I lied. Trey Turner has he leads the league in sprint speed, but it's only 29.9 sprint speed. I don't know where I thought it was 32 though. Maybe I'm looking at this year's and not last year's. Anyways, so you had Harrison Bader. Gosh.
Bader.
I can agree that he gets a little overshadowed by some of the other teams center fielders. Okay, I can get on that just a little bit. Oh god damn it. I'm gonna have to. I think my extra wild card player is gonna have to be a outfielder. Ian Happ. Ian Happ is my second outfielder. I'm gonna say.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Let's see.
I hate him, but he's a good one.
Oh man, I love him. 338 on base percentage, 467 slugging, 807 OPS, and a 111 OPS plus. Great player. He has been with the Cubs for a while. Part of the team last year with Rizzo, Baez, Bryant. Those players all got traded away, and all of the sudden, he became the face of the lineup. He hasn't had the spotlight shine on him as much, and now he will get his spotlight. I think he's gonna finally take over and become one of the better center outfielders, and get more recognition. After Rizzo, Bryant, Baez, and some of those other players left, everyone stopped looking at the Cubs. They were like, okay, they're done. And Ian Happ was still playing pretty good baseball. So any thoughts on Ian Happ?
No, I got to give that one to you. That's a good pickup.
I'm glad you agreed. You're right for once. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Hey, every dog has his day.
Yeah. Who's your third outfielder?
So this one might come as a surprise to you because he really wasn't on my radar. But it's another guy out of the NL Central, actually, since we're just picking up NL Central guys right now.
NL Central.
Ryan Reynolds from the Pirates.
Ooh. Okay. What's your you have anything to say about it? Because I may veto it,
You
depending
may
on.
veto that one. Okay. All right. I figured that one was going to get by you without issue.
And I'll tell you why after you do your thing.
All right. Well, let's see here. He's a young kid. He was in the Rookie of the Year voting in 19. He had a down year in 2020, and I think it was because of injury. His batting average is low. His on base percentage is low. His slugging percentage is low, but he's a good defensive player from what I've seen, recalled, and from the lookings that I did. He did just get paid, so I could see you vetoing that guy, vetoing because of that. I mean, I don't know, there's something about him that I liked when it came to watching him play against us in that series. He seems like a well-rounded player. I think he can float through the outfield as well. I mean, he didn't like jump off the page to me, but he seemed like he was a pretty good overall player, and I hadn't really ever heard much about him, and I didn't realize how young he was, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you want to veto that, I understand.
Okay, I'm not going to veto it, but I do want to say I was going to veto it, but then you kind of changed my mind with something you said, and now I can't even remember. But I think just because the fact that he was such a big trade target in the off season, I think everyone was talking about how great he was. I didn't pick some other players because of that, but I do agree with you on that. On what you were saying, that he's kind of just on a crappy team, and so no one really pays attention to him in a way.
I mean, he really did have some good stats last year, though. 302 batting average, 390 on base percentage, 522 slugging.
He's a great player. I mean, yeah, no doubt about it.
I guess he's still kind of new to me because
Yeah.
like I said, I'm still trying to get used to the rest of the league, and I typically just pay attention to my team and my division. But even pay attention to my division, this guy really never came across the waiver wire to me. So I guess I just missed him and overlooked him. So when I saw him, I was like, yeah, that looks like a good pickup.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. We definitely do need to talk about Brian Reynolds. He's a big guy. Who do I want? I'm going to go with Teoscar Hernandez as my third. 322 on base, 501 slugging, 823 OPS, 120 OPS plus. Most underrated guy on his own team. He has been consistent on the team for years. Doesn't get any respect on the on a stacked team, I think. And I think he helps his team win too. I didn't look at his WAR. Hold on one second. You have any objections to that one?
Not to that one, I don't.
He has a 2021. He had a 3.9 WAR. It's a career high for him. So I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so your pitcher.
All right, so I got a few lined up here. So if you want to veto my first one, don't hesitate.
Okay.
He's a big bad boy. He's a bad boy. He's a bad man. Sandy Alcantara out of Miami.
Okay. Yeah, I want to hear it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I just figured you were going to go, nope, because he's their ace.
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear your reasonings.
So I think he's undervalued, and I put this on the Cardinals, if you want me to be honest. So this runs a little deeper for me.
Okay.
Because the Cardinals traded this kid for Marcelo Zerna because they needed a middle of the lineup bat, and they totally missed on the promise and the ability this kid was going to have long term. If he was still with our team and we didn't make that trade right now, he'd be our ace. and we wouldn't be having pitching issues in St. Louis, at least not as many. So that's why I feel like he's undervalued, because I feel like my own team undervalued him and traded him away for what they got out of Marcell Ozuna. I know every trade leads to something else and then something else and something else happening, but this is a guy I wouldn't have traded as a prospect. That's the only reason I got for you. I got another one. It's a good one though.
Yeah, let's hear that one too.
Tyler Mahle out of Cincinnati.
Now I need to hear this one because I haven't heard of this guy. I don't think.
Oh, you don't know who he is?
Tyler who?
Tyler Mahle. Mahle, Mahle.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's a Cincinnati pitcher. He's a consistent out there. I know every Cincinnati pitcher is getting ringed up right now. He's pretty young. He went 13-6 and 21 with a 3.75 ERA, a 1.23 WHIP. He had over 200 strikeouts in 180 innings.
Yeah.
I think he's overshadowed because he's in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati hasn't been good. He's good on the road. He's actually better on the road than he is at home. That's the funniest part about this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a 2.30 ERA on the road with a 1.04 WHIP. At home, he's a 5-4 with a 5.63 ERA and a 1.48 WHIP. So,
yeah.
I mean, nobody talks about him. He's, in my opinion, he's undervalued and underrated. He's a good little pitcher, and I wouldn't mind having him.
388 FIP in 2020 and a 380 FIP in 2021 with 127 ERA plus in 2021 and a 137 ERA plus in 2020. That is that's pretty dang good right there.
And nobody talks about it. You didn't even know who I was talking about.
Now that I see the name,
okay, cool.
I recognize it. I just don't. Yeah, it took me a second. Okay, so I had a player, and it was going to be Chris Bassett. But then I just kept thinking about this one guy, and he is a Cardinal killer. And I think he's one of the most underrated pitchers in the entire league. What is his name? His name is Kyle Hendricks.
I know. To you.
Cardinal killer.
He is.
Let's see. Career, he's got a 3.73 FIP, a 1.14 WHIP, a 1.24 ERA plus, a 3.37 ERA. I mean, he just sneaks by you. I mean, it's unreal. Like you don't. It's just weird. You don't see him. You face him, you lose terribly. You sometimes get like 2 hits off of him, if that, and then you don't hear from him for another day or 2 or 5 days, and then it's like the boogeyman or something, like someone that you dread whenever you face him, and then you forget all about him, and then you remember how scary he is whenever you face him. Okay, do you have anything to say about them?
No, good. Yeah. No, I got nothing to say about that because you're right. I mean, underrated. He's a Cardinal destroyer.
I think if every time he plays the Cardinals, he like wins a game in 78 pitches. He's just so nasty. And I think he takes advantage of the like not throwing heaters, which is really interesting. So, who's your pitcher? Who was your pitcher again?
I had Alcantara.
Alcantara, that was it. Okay, I forgot to write that down.
It's all right.
Okay,
I was waiting for you to veto that one, so that's
why
I'm Molly around the ready.
And who's going to be your wild card, DH, whatever we're calling this?
So I'm kind of torn here, to be honest with you.
I am kind of torn with my last one too.
So I want to take somebody I think we both really love.
Uh-oh.
I want to take AP.
Okay, Albert Pujols, underrated.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to sell me hard.
The dude's got like a 300 batting average so far this year. Now, granted, he's not hitting anybody but lefties well, but he is smoking lefties. He's only getting paid 2.5 in comparison to other guys that are getting paid to be DHs right now. And like I said, here's my wild card, so I figured I'd throw it out there. But I love AP. If that's a no go, you're gonna have to give me a second.
Okay,
Which is fine.
I'm gonna veto it just because he's. I mean, I think he spent so many years being terrible with the Angels, and I know he. Yeah, I think he's just kind of there in a way. Now, if he just goes off this year, in like 2 months, we can say he's underrated or something. No one's talking enough about him. I'll go ahead and go with my batting guy.
Please do.
Unless you want. Okay. Hey, do you before you go and look on your other batters, do you know who won the AL Rookie of the Year in 2020? Off the top of your head?
No, not at all.
Yeah, no one does. Kyle Lewis broke into the league in 2019, won the Rookie of the Year in 2020, then disappeared. It's like boom, no, he's not here. It's like he never existed. A 343 on base percentage, 450 slugging, 792 OPS, and a 119 OPS plus. Center fielder for your Seattle Mariners. I mean, he's just. It's weird. He won the Rookie of the Year in 2020, like I said, and then all last year I hadn't heard of him until like maybe the last month of the regular season. Great player.
I can't argue that because I don't know anything about the dude. So you win that battle.
I forgot him even like whenever I was making this list. Okay, do you have anyone at the moment?
Hold on.
Oh yeah.
I'll come up with one.
Okay.
I'm just like, who else can I pick? Who's a consistent DH? Because this is my only problem with picking the DH or the bonus player.
Yeah.
Because the DH is so far, I haven't seen anybody be good consistently who is not expected to be good. Like Schwarber hasn't been as good as he's supposed to be, and he wouldn't even be underrated if he could be.
I thought we weren't going to do DHs. I thought we were just going to do like a wild card player.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Wild card. Okay, well then I'm going to say DJ LeMahieu.
DJ LeMahieu, okay.
Just because nobody knew what he was going to be this year. He's supposed to be a good player. He's coming off a rough season. And he has shown up.
Yeah.
He has shown up this year.
Yeah, he had a down year last year, but I mean, yeah. He's been playing from behind, it seems like, forever. He left Colorado and joined the Yankees, and everyone was like, oh, he's not going to be able to hit outside of Colorado. And then he does. He becomes an MVP type player. It seems like he's always underrated. Like you never really see him coming. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so that concludes all of our list, I think, right?
Yeah, we went through. Yeah, because we're not doing relief pitchers.
Yeah. Do you have any other players that you wanted to talk about?
You want to talk like sleeper players or
just players that
in general
that you had on your list that you just kind of wanted to talk about at all?
Ketel Marte out of Arizona, and I think he's not necessarily underrated, but undervalued just because of where he plays at. That would be one of them.
And he gets injured a lot, I think, is another problem.
That's true. And this one pains me to say because he's a Cub. Wilson Contreras.
Yeah, I had him on my list, and then I kind of fell off because I kind of I didn't want to waste my catcher's pick on somebody that everyone kind of knows. So yeah,
Right. So I mean, he's a good player. I mean, he is probably what's going to hold together the Chicago team when things get rough. If as long as he's mature enough to play that role.
yeah,
So those are the other guys I really had. Like the good catchers are the good catchers. They're going to have a bad day from time in and time
yeah,
out. So it is like look at what Wayno had today. Rough day.
yeah.
So
Let's see. For my catchers, I had Travis d'Arnaud, Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos isn't the best player, but I think he is pretty undervalued. 325 career on base percentage, 432 slugging, 757 OPS, and a 100 OPS plus. He isn't the best defender, which hurts him. He also gets injured a lot, which hurts him. Pun intended. And then I had a sneaky one. I had an honorable mention. I was like, I'm not gonna fart around with this, but Salvador Perez. He is a little underrated for me. He got into the league and was a hit and then fell off because his offensive stats fell off a bit. He's a plus defender, and his last 3 years he has been destroying the ball. The reason why I didn't pick him was because of the fact that his popularity has risen, especially after the last season, with his 48 league-leading home runs and like 113 RBIs. My has had a solid career, and I think that in itself is a little bit underrated. We didn't talk about Paul Goldschmidt, and I thought you were going to draft him.
I can't say he's underrated or undervalued at all.
So
I can't defend that.
For me, I was going to say Goldie is a quiet player. He doesn't parade himself around. He just smashes baseballs. Never won an MVP. And you look at his numbers in his career.
He's never won an MVP.
No,
he was with Arizona the whole time. He was never going to win it out there, of course.
Well, in 2017, I think they were. I mean, they've been to the playoffs a couple of times, and I mean, still hasn't won an MVP. If he didn't have such bad Aprils, he would be collecting 10 MVPs. He doesn't get the love he deserves, I think.
I'd agree with you on that, man. That's good. That's a good explanation. You should have taken him.
Yeah, I wanted Brandon Belt a little bit more. I just thought I could explain that a lot easier. Joey Wendell, I said earlier. Let's see. Rafael Devers, Austin Riley, Mitch Haniger, Mark Canha. Mark Canha has been one of my underrated guy for me. Yeah,
he was on my list too.
Consistent player. Not a lot of people know who he is. They should. They really should. Career 344 on base percentage, 431 slugging, 776 OPS, and a 114 OPS plus. Okay, and then we got to talk about Bryce Harper, because for me, I came up with the idea of the draft from Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, because you were talking about Bryce Harper being an underrated guy.
I mean, slightly, but I would never put him in this world of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
That's just a personal thought. Like, I mean, I think the dude's amazing. I don't even like him, but I think he's an amazing player, and I have all the respect in the world for him. But
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's underrated just because everyone says he's overrated, and then he keeps just doing amazing. I think you and I talked about it. What was it? He came up with the same time as Mike Trout, and Mike Trout had he was clean cut. He was had the crew cut, like barely any hair. He didn't go around doing anything big or spectacular. Bryce Harper comes into the league. He's wearing high socks. He's wearing like his big boy stuff. I mean, he's got the sass to him. He puts the black on under the eye black, and he just smears it all over his face. I mean, he was like a punk kid, and I think a lot of baseball fans kind of hated him because of that.
So what do you think about war paint?
Oh, I don't care.
I love it.
Yeah, I like. I mean, I like it when they do weird shit to their faces like that. I I have no problem with it whatsoever. I think people who have a problem with it are just prima donnas or something. They're just weird. Um, let's see. Yeah, so that concludes our list. Um, yeah, it's not bad. I like that we talked about. We may have to do this again. Just talk about some more players that we think are maybe not a draft, but players that we think are underrated.
Yeah, do
Okay.
like a top 5 or something down the road for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's hear your batting average thing.
No, I just want you to explain. I want to hear you explain why you don't like batting average,
Okay,
and then
so
I'll respond.
for me, batting average doesn't include walks, and I think for the longest time, people look at batting average as just as the only stat that you need to look at, and I think it doesn't really show you every aspect of a guy getting hit. On base percentage, obviously, whenever a guy gets on base, slugging is the total bases. I want to say, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but slugging is you get like 1 point if you get a single, 2 points if you get a double, and it all adds up. OPS on base plus slugging. I think OPS is the best stat. OPS plus is really good too. On base, I really like slugging. I think OPS takes care of that. So batting average, I think it's a little bit Neanderthal. What is it? Cavemanish now in today's baseball world, where I think there are some other
Dang.
stats that, that do a no offense to anyone who uses it. I just I I understand. I think there are better ways to um, uh, judge a player's uh, value uh, than using batting average.
Okay. I mean that's fine. I mean it's a. I mean I understand where you're going with that. I mean
Yeah,
I just batting average growing up for me was the big thing. So I think
yeah,
batting average will be important, always will be important and serve a purpose. Now I do love like OPS and OPS plus. I think that
mm,
gives you the full picture. But if you just need to know what a guy on the average, the
yeah,
mean, what he does, I think batting average is perfectly fine. I think it's a good stat. But I 100% understand what you're saying. I
yeah,
wouldn't say it's antiquated. I would just say it's
mm,
the simplest stat to judge how somebody plays at the plate.
yeah,
But I think the best stat is probably OPS.
yeah.
To be
Uh,
honest with you,
yeah, I really, we really need to. We should do a episode talking about like every because I don't think a lot of people do know like OPS is WAR. I mean, I don't. I think a lot of people don't know what exactly WAR is, um, or WOBA. Uh, what is it? The other one? I just learned a new one. It was RZ or RSZ, and
what is that? Run
so it
scored something?
no, it's a catching stat, and it's basically pitch framing for catchers. And I heard it from a Yankees podcast. It's Talking Yanks by John Boy. We
Okay.
love John Boy here. And so they said that when the Yankees traded Gary Sanchez, they so they got all. It's basically how many runs are you saving by your pitch framing. Um, and
Jesus criminy.
yeah,
If you're a stats person, okay, so if you don't know baseball or you don't know sports and you love numbers and you love statistics,
hmm,
baseball is the sport for you
oh yeah,
because there's a stat for everything
oh
you
yeah.
can think of.
Yeah, and it was so interesting because they were saying that um, so they were putting together his RSZ stats, and then comparing it to his. I don't want to say WAR, but it was his how many runs he gets offensively, basically, and if and it came out negative because he's such a terrible defender. Um, so So they traded him, and they think that Higashioka, the guy who's starting now, is he's a positive in the runs saved. So it's a really interesting, and I'm not doing it justice right now, but I learned about it today or yesterday, and I've been obsessed with it right now. I try to learn a new stat every once in a while, but it's hard because there's about 50,000 of them. WRC plus, runs created plus is a good one too. And I don't even fully understand that one. But yeah, we should totally do that. I want to do that one soon.
I'm down, dude, because there's some things you rattle out, and I'm like, I'm not exactly 100% sure what he's saying, but I'm going to listen to the context and try to figure out what he's talking about.
Some of that stuff with like OPS plus, on base percentage, slugging, I think it's just easier to read, to understand what each number means. Like I said, a 710 OPS is average. Anything under that is below average. Anything above that, 800s are pretty great. 900s are ecstatic, amazing. And a 1 dot OPS is just incredible. On base percentage is 320 is average. Anything under that, don't come at me, people. And then OPS plus 100, 120 is great, 140 is spectacular. I think with those, you just don't really need to understand the stat itself. You just need to know how to read it. For some of those players fans trying to learn it. It's got interesting stuff to it. Anyways, do we have any, I've been rambling enough. Do we have anything else that we need to talk about tonight?
No, just catch us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, wherever you can find your podcast. Catch us there. We'll have a big episode coming out Wednesday night that is going to be all for our Cardinals people. Or I guess it'll come out Wednesday morning for our Cardinals people. I'm sure there's going to be some interesting takes from your side with everything that's going on the last few games. And
I need to catch up. I have been kind of out of it lately. So,
make sure you got a 6-pack. Well, make sure you got something to drink while you're sitting there catching up, because you're not going to be the happiest camper in the world.
Yeah, it's typical. But anyways, oh gosh, my cat is coming in now, so he's going to be psycho.
You got a dog and a cat making an appearance in one episode?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. I love that.
Well, ladies out there, just so you all know, Logan is an animal lover.
I regret this. Ozzy, shut your trap. Stupid cat. It's not my cat. It's my stinking sister's, and I had to take care of it. So, anyways, go away. Anyways, yada, yada, yada. Thanks for watching or listening. Don't watch. You don't watch this.
Not yet.
Yeah. Stop it. What was my famous line that I was going to say now? Oh, live long and watch some damn baseball. Bye, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Hey, it's Logan Stone here. The guy from the video you just watched. Yeah. Hey, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. I worked really hard for this. Can't you see I did my hair and everything? Be sure to follow us on Facebook at the Variety Sports Podcast. And also, be sure to follow us on Spotify. Some of you are already on Spotify. That's how you found us on YouTube. But be sure to go back and forth. Listen to us twice. Listen, we have good knowledge. Yeah. Okay, bye.